Hachimura will defend. Oh, won't defend that. Get into his bag and accelerate. Take that with you, Mr. Lopez. Goes right up and watch him. Give a little love tap to it.
What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, Duke basketball did get a nice winning streak victory over Syracuse the other day. It was a nice win. It was like 85-71 final score, but the score was pretty much up to like a 30-point lead at one point. So Duke had it going, and of course my guy DJ Stewart had a nice game, the freshman, with 21 points. But everybody was hot from three. I think Duke had one of their better record-setting days from the three-point line. I think there were definitely over 20 plus threes made, so that was good. And of course Matthew Hurt is still doing really well. For a sophomore, I didn't think he was going to be as good as he was, but so far he's been pretty good. And then when it comes to USC basketball, they've been kind of on a bit of a losing streak right now, but before that they were able to get the victory against Oregon. I think it was like a 14-point win. I could be wrong, but yeah, they were able to get that win at home, lose the next couple, and then yeah, pretty much Evan Mobley, everyone else has just kind of been average. They get some leads here and there, and then they lose it, which sucks, but I don't know why he's still even playing. He's considered a top 3 overall prospect. He might as well just stop playing and just prepare for the NBA draft, in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes for USC basketball. Then, speaking of USC basketball, Nikola Vucevic, the ex-power forward from USC, was once again named an All-Star for the NBA All-Star game, so that's pretty cool for him. Hopefully he'll be able to play, do good, but I don't know. A lot of times they don't let the bigger guys play, but it's good for him, more money for him later in the next contract, so that's always a good thing. Then USC football was able to get another quality control analyst. So it's not really a coach, but I guess he's an ex-Texas and Texas Tech defensive back when he played. I think his name was John Bonney, something like that. But a lot of people were talking about him, especially in the South and Texas, everywhere, saying he could be a pretty good coach. So, of course, once again, USC football is taking a chance on a guy, and we'll see what he can do. Hopefully he can help out in recruiting. Then, speaking of USC football, well, now it portrays to the LA Chargers. So Jurrell Casey is now a free agent. He was luckily let go by Denver, because I guess they weren't satisfied with him missing all of last year with injury. But I've been trying to get Casey back home with the Chargers for so long, and now he's a free agent, and the Chargers could always use a guy on the inside of that defensive line to help out. I think he could be a good bargain. Probably won't cost a lot for him to want to come back home, but I don't know. I think they should definitely take a chance on him. Then the Chargers had also met with pretty talented wide receiver from Purdue in Rondell Moore. He's a guy I've always liked. He lit up college football when he was a freshman, and he almost looked like a Reggie Bush playing wide receiver at times. But yeah, he was cool, but then he kind of had some injuries in his second year and did all right this past offseason. But I don't know. I don't think he's an answer in the first round where a lot of places have been projected. If they're looking at drafting him in the second round, or maybe jumping back into the first round and selecting him later, that's cool. But like I've been saying, they need to go after an offensive lineman with that first pick, no matter what it is. And if they do end up wasting the pick on him, then that second round pick better be an offensive lineman, because there's no way the Chargers are going to get what they want in free agency. So I think that's what they got to do. But yeah, it's going to be tough seeing what they do in free agency. A lot of pretty talented guys out there. Then when it comes to Zion Williamson, he was named to his first All-Star selection as well, which is really cool. And only his second year, and you know, he's been really balling for the Pelicans. He's, I think, their second leading scorer, but he's been very productive, and like as you see from all those dunks right there, definitely still has it, and doing a lot better rebounding, playing defense as well, not just the dunker and all that stuff that I'm showing right there. But yeah, definitely glad for him, the ex-Duke small forward. Hopefully they'll feed him the ball, get him some nice wide open dunks. He probably He kind of hinted that he might be in the dunk challenge, but I doubt he will because that's now not the Saturday before. It's actually in between the first and second half of the All-Star game, which is kind of weird. So I don't think he will do it, but during the game, kind of like LeBron, that's where he does his dunk competition. Basically, he does a lot of nice dunks in there, so definitely looking forward to that, to seeing that from Zion Williamson, his first time. I believe it's this Sunday coming up. That'll be very cool to see. Yes, Anthony Davis was also named to the All-Star team, but I doubt he's going to play because he's been projected to be out with his Achilles injury even past then, so it's a nice nod to get, but I'm pretty sure everybody's been saying like guys like Devin Booker, the Suns guard, some people like that were snubbed, but he's going to get in anyways, so congrats to him, I guess. But yeah, Anthony Davis definitely was voted in by the All-Stars. It's pretty crazy. Then, yes, sadly, the Lakers had to waive point guard Quinn Cook, the ex-Duke point guard that's on their team. But they kind of more did it because they have too many guards right now that are producing for them other than him, and they needed a big guy, like an extra spot to be able to sign a bigger guy, which is what they did, and they signed Damian Jones. He was like most recently with, I think Golden State, one of those teams, but I mean, he's alright. I think he's like 6'10", 6'11", and he finally did play the past couple games. He's on a 10-day contract, and I think he actually got injured in the most recent game, so I don't know if that's going to affect him sticking around longer or if they have to find another big guy to put on a 10-day contract. But yeah, I mean, he looked promising. He was able to score a couple times, do a couple nice defensive plays, but still, once again, that injury bug hitting the Lakers big man, which is crazy. And then also, I did like a mini trade. I barely found out that ESPN has this thing for free where you can make your own trades, but they kind of put in the real money, so you can't just like trade anybody, kind of like you do in the video games. So this was actually pretty accurate trade, and I actually got some big men for the Lakers in a nice trade that sent guys out that haven't been producing as they should have been or aren't even producing at all for the Lakers, and they probably have to send second round picks, which is what they really only have, but I think that's still enticing for the type of guys they're getting, who I think the guys that I traded for are a lot better than what they are on those type of teams, because those teams suck and they're the type of like wing defenders or big men that the Lakers actually want and have been looking for. So they could do this simple trade where they believe they trade Alfonso McKinney, his contract to Sacramento, for Hassan Whiteside's contract, and most likely they're sending a second round pick to Sacramento. And then I think that only happens because Richaun Holmes has been a lot better at that position for the Kings, and I doubt they're going to want to trade him over Whiteside, who's only on a 1-year deal. So I think that's why that makes more sense. And then they trade Wesley Matthews, who, in my opinion, he was kind of upset that he wasn't getting playing time, and then with this couple injuries, he got some playing time and still hasn't really shown that he's the type of contributor that he has been the past couple years on teams. And I think if you just trade him out to Minnesota and another second round pick, a future second round, then you get from Minnesota Josh Okogie and Naz Reid. Naz Reid is probably not the greatest like power forward / center, but he was very productive when Karl Anthony Towns, Minnesota star, was out. So I like that pick for them. And then also Okogie, he's one of those wing defenders like an Ariza, like Matt Barnes type of guy for the Lakers that they've been trying to look for, and he can shoot the three very well. So that's why they need to make that move. But yes, moving on to the Lakers, they were on a bit like a 4 or 5 game losing streak. I forget what it was. And then they ended up playing this last week. They've been playing like every other day, and only one game was away, but they still got that loss. But other than that, there were like 4 games every other day. Pretty crazy schedule, but they finally got on the win column Friday against Portland, who I assumed they were going to lose to, but Portland has had their troubles as well. But luckily, Dennis Schroeder, one of the top guys missing for the Lakers, came back that game and was able to give them a spark, and they were able to get that victory. over a pretty good Portland team, which is what I was happy about. And then the next game on Sunday night they had against Golden State, who I think they last played on MLK Day, and Golden State got that close victory, which kind of sucked for the Lakers because they were better than them and they lost. But luckily most of this game the Lakers are up by 30 points and they still won by double digits. But yeah, they pretty much showed their superiority against the Golden State Warriors, which was nice to see. But yeah, overall pretty tough week for them. Hopefully they get some better news on that Anthony Davis front and get a couple more of these victories. I think they only have 2 more games before the All-Star break, so maybe LeBron plays, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, excuse me, something like that. But yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day. Fight on.